So, Adam, you won't guess what happened this week.
Are you getting my hopes up? Because we all know that my guess is going to be something Owen Hart.
No, we're not going there.
Okay.
Guess something different. Something else.
The Rock has COVID-19?
Well, yes, but not that. Fine, I'll just tell you.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Vacant retained the NXT Championship this week.
Oh my God, Vacant actually retained? This never happens.
I know. Like
this, I don't know how to handle this. 5G? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You know what time it is. It's time for As the Buckle Turns. With your host, the ever lovable Tim. Hi, Tim. How's it going?
and the annoying Get Ben Adam?
Yeah. Whoever has to edit this video is really going to get confused right there.
No, I won't. Because do you think I actually listen to this while I'm editing it?
Oh, God damn it. Normally, I put up the picture of myself and you at the beginning of the episodes when we introduce ourselves, but that's it.
So I'm probably still just going to...
Okay,
As you introduce me, I'm going to put your photo up.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing out there? Right away, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, join that notification squad. You know what to do. We'll close this out and we'll let Tim do that again later at the end. Anyway, we've got predictions to go over. We've got results to go over. We've got people to talk about.
And Adam, I'm just glad to see that you've got your mind back, wrapped around everything. Yeah, it only took 5 hours, but...
I blame 5G. I blame 5G for me not being able to get my shit together, okay? All right.
Yes, we have some predictions. We have to go over our predictions for All Out, which is Saturday, which means, if you're listening to this, it's the day of the show.
Yeah, in a couple of hours. Depending on when Tim uploads the episode.
Yeah, because someone has to go somewhere and, get some boogie action.
You know what? I do this once a month, okay?
Hey, your obsession with getting your boogie on, going dancing, is interfering with this.
You know it. I gotta dance. Just gotta dance every once in a while.
Oh, great. That's just gonna be burnt in my
It's terrible
face.
dancing, though. Anyway, let's go ahead and go over New Japan Pro Wrestling, the results for Summer Struggle in Jingu.
No one's here for that. They're here for that as the second thing. We're going all out predictions first.
All right, fine. We're going all out right away.
We're going all out. So, there's a total of 9 matches so far. And because it's AEW, there will be 9 matches the night of the show. Because they know what they're fucking doing.
Now I do see that
and yes, that was like that dig was at WWE, but it was also kind of a dig at New Japan.
Well, yes, because New Japan has had a show going into it where, the Thursday before the show, we knew of 4 matches, and then there were 9 on the card.
Yes. But that happens in New Japan all the time, because they're just getting the other matches, figuring out who they have, especially in
right
COVID
now.
They've done it in the past as well, but it's usually for like house shows that they do it for. It seems like, but
not their major shows. They're not going into Dominion or Wrestle Kingdom with 4 matches on the card. They're going into it going, no, we have 13 matches. They're all right here.
I've seen them have 4 matches, but here's the difference between New Japan and WWE. They already know what those matches are.
Yeah.
Before the COVID era, because they are building towards those matches.
They're just like, oh, we're getting this one early? Yeah. Okay. Oh, we're getting a sequel to that one, too. Okay.
Yes. So we'll go over New Japan's Pro Wrestling Summer Struggle in a few minutes. We're going to go right in here. So we're going to go... This is coming right off of Wikipedia. So the number 1 matchup in the main event will be MJF challenging for the AEW World Championship in a match where the Paradigm Shift... No, it's not the Paradigm Shift. The Death Rider.
No. Actually, it is the Paradigm Shift.
My bad. This is just coming in. It's the Dirty Deeds is illegal.
So a weird thing is, Moxley's last 2 wins He didn't even use it.
I know.
It was a submission both times.
And one of them was a pass out finish.
Yeah. So MJF, you probably would have been safer to allow that to stay in the match.
Yeah, and especially when Moxley's whole mind frame was, it's just gonna make me I have to get creative. We've already seen him get creative with submissions.
We've seen him get creative with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, exactly. Do you really want to be on the end? I mean, that was a lights out matchup, so there were really no rules. Do you want to see him how creative and how violent he can get within the rules?
That's okay. So this type of character is what I wished we had seen out of Dean Ambrose.
Yes, same here.
And it was like we saw images of it.
Yeah.
You know, Mick Foley handing him the barbed wire bat, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, okay, we're seeing that Moxley is the next level of the hardcore, the guy who's going to figure out ways to draw the blood from you. You know.
Yep.
All of that. And then we never really got it.
Because they went PG.
Well, not just PG. It was just like, oh. I mean, I understand, you know, maybe you're not going to, you know, cut people open every single time Dean Ambrose is out there. But, you know, occasionally.
Yeah. But, so this will be an interesting matchup, especially since part of his negotiations or signing the contract, as he said, showed that John Moxley knows how to be a lawyer because he snuck another page in there that didn't disqualify anything from making the paradigm shift legal. It's just that made that if MJF's lawyer didn't have a match with him this last night, MJF didn't get a title shot, and they forced him to have a match, and it was a comedy match basically.
Of course.
And then MJF and Wardlow destroyed him. Adam, I'm gonna let you comment on that.
So, best thing about this destruction that Moxley went through was the fact that he can be audibly heard telling MJF to go fucking nuts. Because this is a moment, it's just like, kid, get over with this one.
Yeah.
Beat the guy who has gone through everyone so far.
Make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
An interesting note here.
Yes.
This will determine who remains undefeated in 2020, because both have not lost a match in 2020.
Fair enough. Okay.
A
singles match.
Yes, a singles matchup.
Because MJF has lost a tag team match, even though he didn't take the pin.
But because AEW does keep track of them separately and not as one just win-loss record.
Right.
It actually means a different. I'm still getting used to it when saying that, because I hate it when WWE would use it as, well, they haven't lost in singles competition, which just means you're trying to keep people thinking that, well, he hasn't lost one-on-one, when we know it doesn't.
I remember when they tried to use that with Dolph Ziggler, and it's like, well, yes, except for the fact that he hasn't won a match in 6 months.
Yeah.
But he hasn't lost a singles match. Yeah, he also hasn't had a singles match in 8 months.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things when it doesn't work for WWE, and we're have to get used to it in AEW because they actually do distinguish
it
everything.
Makes sense.
But so it'll be interesting to see here. Normally I was just going to go down the card, but since we already started talking about this matchup, we might as well just do that going forward. So Adam, as champion, technically, because
yes.
You guessed right last week on it would be FTR who had won the gauntlet match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship title shot.
Who's the champ?
Well, technically,
this guy's the champ.
Technically, we have to do a tiebreaker because we tied at someone's struggle. So,
yeah, but draw goes to the champ. I'm really sorry about that.
No, we decided no more draws. So,
no, you decided that.
You agreed.
because it wouldn't work in your favor. And now the system that you use only works in your favor.
What are you talking?
I have never won a tiebreaker because of that game, okay? I even picked the most obvious. Like, you had a jobber and Brock Lesnar in the ring. The jobber won Because of your system.
I didn't. You just make it sound like I made that game. I didn't.
I think you did.
Yeah, if I made that game, I would be very happy with myself. I did not make that game. But I basically went outside and like, okay, this is not the actual WWE. Logic just takes Brock Lesnar's going to win. I'm going to go with this guy because it's just it's a computer.
And the game just decides
and
that Brock Lesnar has to lose there.
And so far, based on the game, there's no leveling system as far as I know of that this person should not beat this guy. So I'm just going to go, it's going to be random.
Yep.
And that's how I always pick it, and that's how I win.
Okay.
Usually go with logic. Not my fault. Your fault.
I'm sorry, I should just go with chaos then.
So you know what we'll do?
Owen Hart wins everything.
How about we do this? How about we put the Predictions Championship, we vacate the Predictions Championship.
All Out
and All Out determines it.
Okay.
This will wipes clean the Renee Young, even though she said she's not going to go to AEW. Renee Young, AEW confirmed.
Yeah. Half-Life 3 confirmed. What?
CM Punk to WWE WrestleMania main event, winning the WWE Championship, retiring. Confirmed.
No, you know that he's only going to end up on Saturday Night Main Event. The only show that he's willing to sign for.
But yeah, so because then in this case, if we're going to vacate the title, as former champion, Adam,
yes,
I'll allow you to decide if you want the first pick or to pass that off.
I'm taking the first pick.
Okay, for this matchup, will be John or MJF?
Jon Moxley.
Stop picking mine.
The reason I'm going with Moxley on this is because, sweet Jesus, he is a strong champion for them.
Yes.
And when they do finally put somebody over him,
yeah,
I want it. I want it to be Kenny.
Well, so do I.
But I want it to be cleaner Kenny, and I want it to be as brutal of a match without the weapons that their Lights Out match was. Like, because we watched that Lights Out match, and both of us walked away from it.
Still haven't seen it.
Oh my God. Okay, so I watched that match, and I walked away from it going, that was a train wreck. How are both men walking, let alone alive? Now I want that same level.
Yeah.
Now, but I also said every one of the major bumps was a back bump.
Yeah.
There were no crazy, there was no Canadian Destroyer head bumps.
Yeah.
There was no high angle neck bumps.
Yeah.
Like you see in New Japan. I'm sorry, Kota Ibushi, but how do you survive them?
I know.
How have you not permanently ruined your neck? Anyway.
He'll feel it when he's in his 50s.
Yeah. But, or he'll be like every other... Like, that's one thing that I found out about Japanese wrestling overall. You either continue being able to wrestle into your 60s,
yeah,
or you retire before you turn 30. There's almost no in between.
Yeah. So, no, I agree with it because my whole thing is, well, I think this is the smart move for MJF to be in this spot because people can start imagining him with the potential of wearing the belt.
Right.
And if he doesn't win it, it's like, okay, someday he will hold that. And if you put it on him now, he has nowhere to go for the rest of his career in AEW.
Exactly.
Except for back to this picture, and it won't be that big. Yes, there will be some fans in the arena, but it won't be the same of a year from now, 2 years from now. I would probably go 2 years from now before putting the belt on MJF, just because it gives you more time to build him up. Yes, you want to get a big name, your own talent on there, but at the same time, once you put that belt on him, he has nowhere else to go, unless you come up with creative storylines, which we know AEW can come up with really good storylines.
I mean, also think about it. You could that to me, it's kind of MJF right now is kind of a 2000-ish Jericho.
Yes,
where you're like, wow, they put the belt on him that early
without actually having any other major championship within a major company on his belt.
Like, if you were just a WWE fan, you see Jericho come in, you're like, all right, this kid's talented. Never heard of him before. WCW doesn't even exist in my periphery. Hulk Hogan has retired from wrestling completely. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are not Diesel and Razor Ramon. They are not the same people at all.
Sorry, Adam. Back then, people actually acknowledged that there was something outside of WWE.
No, there isn't. Nothing. Anyway.
You're trying to put a modern-day WWE lens on it. WWE acted that way, but the fans weren't that way. There were maybe a few diehards who thought that, but it wasn't that way, because that's why it was, then the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars never would have happened.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's kind of the position that MJF is in, where it's like, all right, he is extremely talented and has put himself in a wonderful spot in this company, where if they did put the belt on him, where do you go with him from there, other than to work back around to come back to the belt? Have him hold the TNT Championship. Yeah. Have him hold the TNT Championship for a while. Feud with somebody for a while, back and forth.
See, my thing is with TNT Championship on MJF, and he holds the record long, 8 months.
I mean, some of it is he walks out of the ring to retain by DQ. Other times he actually has a match with somebody, like Jungle Boy.
He retains.
If he knows that he can, Brody Lee is out there for the challenge. MJF just F's off.
Basically, what you would do is you do Jericho's Cruiserweight Championship run, leading up to his feud with Dean Malenko, and you basically do that entire run because everyone wanted the fucking belt off him.
Yep.
And they kept. I mean, the final product was a botch overall, they had that heat. When you were just waiting for Jericho to drop that belt to someone better.
That's what you need for MJF, is that when he has the TNT belt, it's going to be like the Honky Tonk Man. He's going to hold it for 400 days, and when he does drop it, the crowd will go nuts for him dropping it.
Yeah.
He should then immediately, the week after, be like, I'm challenging for the AEW Championship. And you're like, what are you doing? And he's like, I have this record up to this date of one loss. And he's like, the AEW champion currently has more losses this year than I do. Somebody who's 10-2. He's like, they've got one more loss than I do. Why can't I challenge them?
Yeah, no, see, what I would do, when they do put the belt on MJF, what I would do when he drops the belt, immediately put him back down in the mid-card.
Okay.
Basically do this. Pull the Miz. Miz wins the WWE Championship. He drops it and try to keep him hot in the main event for a little bit, but then you basically just said, nope, we're done with him. Put him back in there. Do something similar with the Miz, with MJF, but immediately put him back down there and have him work his way up. Like, yes, I was a champion, and his whole thing is, I was AEW World Champion. But you play it off like it was a joke that he was the champion, in a sense. Like, everyone thinks it was a joke that he got there, and he's got to work his way back up. But unlike WWE, you actually eventually build him back up as an AEW World W champion and give him a better run. But anyway, I agree with you on this one because it's just too soon for MJF. But it doesn't mean we won't get a hell of a matchup. And by the way, I want John Moxley, Kenny Omega at Full Gear. 1 year from their Lights Out matchup.
That was Revolution.
No, it wasn't. It was Full Gear. Revolution. Yeah, that was kind of hard for them to have that matchup when Kenny was in a tag team championship matchup against the Young Bucks at Revolution.
No, that was Evolution. That was at WrestleMania this year. God damn it. Stop proving me wrong over here, all right?
Stop getting your wrestling facts wrong.
I hate you. Anyway,
our next matchup we have, speaking of Chris Jericho, we have Chris Jericho taking on Orange Cassidy, and I believe it's called a Mimosa matchup, or
the Mimosa Mayhem match. It's Triple M.
Yeah, so you win by pin, submission, or throwing your opponent into a vat of mimosa. So you're getting a little bit of bubbly and a little bit of orange juice, and you put them together.
You get the mimosa.
It's brilliant. It's like you got your orange and you got your bubbly.
Bubbly.
A little bubbly.
Oh my god, mimosas are wonderful.
And regardless who wins this matchup, Jericho's ending up in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it would be a WWE thing for Jericho to win and then still get put in there. I'm hoping that it will be the opposite way around.
Yes. That he actually gets put in there for the win.
Yes. I'm okay with him getting a pinfall, Orange Cassidy getting a pinfall or submission, but still throw him in there.
No.
But we came up with the best finish.
Well, you came up with this one. I have another one.
Mine's better.
You haven't even heard mine.
Don't care. Mine's better. I'm going to one-up your one-up without you ever one-upping, hey. Anyway, basically you do his whole little skit thing where he's hands in the pockets, the kicks to the legs.
To the legs, yeah.
Oh, and Jericho's like, really? You're doing this? Oh, yeah. He backs up for the super kick. And then near the bat, Mimosa's like, go ahead. Let's see what you... And then he actually super kicks him hard, sending Jericho into the bat to win the match.
You know what? I like this one a little bit better.
OJ.
Cassidy has Jericho up. He's about to drop them into the mimosa, and Jericho just starts tapping out because he can lose by submission, and it's better than being dropped into the tank of mimosa. And officially, they're calling it a tank of mimosa.
Okay.
Instead, Cassidy just stops, looks at him, realizes that he's tapped out, and just tosses him in anyway. And you're like, you know what? No, you're still going in.
No, I don't like that. But you know who else is going? I guarantee this person's going. Santana's going in there.
Honestly, I would like to see him just put on a floaty and just jump in anyway with a cup and just start drinking.
No, Santana's going to probably if he doesn't get put in there and they do the whole he can't swim bit again.
Oh my God, yes.
I'll be surprised.
It needs to only be up to like his waist.
He's just like,
I can't swim. Stand up.
No. They do like a drowning angle with him. He goes under like, you have like Ortiz jump in. I got you, man. I got you.
And just stands him up.
And just stands him up. He's just like, he spits it into his Ortiz's face.
You could have just stood up this entire time, right? All right.
But so you went first that one.
Yep.
OC. I'm assuming you're going with OC.
Son of a bitch, yes. Even though, for some strange reason, I don't know if it's old age or what, but Jericho cannot take a dragon leg screw anymore. Seriously, what the hell is wrong with him? Everything he needs to bump to his back on now. And it's like, no, it's a dragon leg screw. You're supposed to flip over.
Should I put an FTR down for the next one for both of us?
No.
No, okay. I just had to make that joke. Okay, so our next matchup, we have Kenny Omega and Adam Page defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships against FTR. Adam.
I gotta stick by my boy Adam Page on this one.
Okay, so you're going. So they're not going to turn on each other?
Oh no, that's happening. And it's going to be Kenny that turns. Because Kenny's not going to stop at the end of the match. Much like with Marco Stunt, he's just going to target one of them and just start laying in on them. Or Kenny and Adam are going to win by DQ.
They don't do DQ finishes.
Yeah, but the Young Bucks are going to get involved somehow.
Oh, I'm sure they'll get involved in somehow.
And it's going to ruin the match. Not ruin, but it's going to cause it to go to a DQ. And then Kenny's just going to go full cleaner. And it's going to be Paige that has to drag him off. And he's like, this is what I was protecting you guys from. This is what I was protecting you from. That's what I would love to see.
Now, I'm going with FTR because I think this is going to be... I do think it's going to be...
Full Gear that they'll break up.
No, I hope not. They've teased it long enough, and I'm sure, no doubt, they could come up with new ways to extend it out. But you pull the trigger on Hangman has been kicked out of the Elite. Now you have to.
He left the Elite like almost a year ago.
I know.
He officially declared it back in March.
No, I know. Trust me, I know. But
oh yeah, no. It was November of 2019 that he left the Elite March, he reiterated that he wasn't part of the Elite. And then Matt's like, you're kicked out of the Elite. He should have just looked at him and went, I wasn't part of it. I quit a while ago.
So,
God damn. Okay, yes.
but I don't know. I just think this is regardless if they turn here or not, Kenny and Paige have had their run. They've had a record run. I mean, they're the only two champions.
Well, yeah, I was going to say. I'm like,
but it's still this is the kind of run you usually want your first champions to have.
Yeah.
And SCU had a decent run. They had a longer run. Like, it had like 60, 70 days, which is still a pretty good run.
yeah, if your name is Johnny Gargano.
No. Well, no, if you're in a standard championship, getting it for that many days is still good. But you generally want your first champions to have a longer run. But if you actually look at the history of first champions,
Almost all of them, if it's like 30, 60, maybe 90 days.
it's usually the second or third person who have a really long run.
Exactly. Unless your
at-
name is Cody Rhodes and it's the TNT Championship.
Yeah.
Just saying.
If you look at the NXT UK Championship, it was Pete Dunne, who was the second champion, who God damn it was the second in the finals.
Jesus. Yeah, your rule of second in the finals, you do know that it's WWE. They will always do this.
I know. It's stupid. But anyway, he had his legendary run at almost 2 years. By the way, if we don't get an NXT UK matchup soon, Walter will break that record by accident.
No, it should be coming up very soon because Nigel McGuinness has been declared for the...
They're doing it. They start up. They're the 17th of September as the first when they're the first NXT UK matchup.
Yeah,
Card.
they've got a studio and everything already.
Yeah, if they don't have him drop the belt soon, he'll break the record. Which it's possible. I don't know if they're going to do Dublin or not. I like to take over Dublin again.
Yeah, that might happen eventually.
But that was they were setting up Volter and Finn for that one. But it's probably going to be Finn winning the NXT Championship next week. Anyway, but yeah, I think FTR is the time for it. We're waiting for the Young Bucks, and what a better way to make that belt that matchup mean something even more by having the belts on the line.
Yeah.
But I think it's time.
Yeah.
If they don't make the title change, I'll be disappointed. Just because
You've said you've been disappointed in the past.
Well, no, it's just here's my thing. Hangman and Kenny are not an official tag team. They're not a tag team that they're going to be continuing to tag after losing the belts. They're teasing the breakup the entire time, the entire run.
Well, I mean, building into Revolution in February, they were teasing the breakup.
Yes. And
it's September.
Yeah, and they've been doing it still.
It's been over 6 months, and it's not going to break up the way you think it is. Paige isn't going to turn heel on Kenny.
I'm not talking about who's turning on who. They're still going to break up as a team. Traditional tag team, like the Young Bucks, FTR.
Oh, well, yeah.
They need to get it on an actual tag team.
It's going to happen.
So, it's time. All right, our next matchup is for the AEW World Women's Championship. Hikaru Shida.
The World Women's Championship? Don't you mean the Women's World Championship?
I don't give a fuck what people call it. It's the World Women's Championship in my mind.
Where did you glean this information from?
I didn't say it's the official title. It's what I call it. So.
Ugh.
Because I hate the fact that you call it the Women's World Championship. It's.
Well, the other one grammatically doesn't make sense.
The World Women's Championship?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Who does it make sense for? It makes sense to me, and that's all that fucking matters.
No.
Taking on NWA World Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. So, this is a matchup.
So we're both putting down Sheeta?
Maybe. Maybe not. Let me just pose a question for you.
Yeah.
Billy Corgan has already stated the NWA is not coming back until next year at least.
Okay.
And he's giving blessing to his talent to go work for it, make your money wherever you can for now.
Right.
What is one of the things that you want out of AEW to happen in wrestling?
I do want NWA, AEW, Ring of Honor, and New Japan to all team up and become a mega wrestling company and take on the WWE machine.
So what better way? Because everyone's saying that Sheeta has not been advertised very well.
Okay.
Been marketed. I mean, Britt Baker's been marketed better, and she's been injured than they've had their own women's champion because they really want Britt Baker to be the world champion.
Of course.
They haven't made that clear from the day they signed her that she was supposed to be the inaugural. They didn't get over as the way they wanted to, so they decided to hold off. Smart. And as a heel, she can. But what better way to revamp your women's division than to have another women's champion come in, win the belt,
No.
and then have a 2-belt champion.
NWA is the Bush Leagues of
course.
pro wrestling. You're not having a Bush League champion beat your champion.
You never know.
Now, if Thunder Rosa has a good match here and does well with the AEW audience, then yes.
Well, everyone's saying her matchup last night was actually really good.
Everyone?
Who's saying it was bad?
Somebody that was in the crowd
Who?
and has been on our show before.
Who's that?
Mark.
Who's that?
Screw you. You know who Mark is.
He didn't like the matchup?
He said it was adequate. It's it was formulaic.
From what other people were saying who watched it, saying it was very good. Yeah, it was like a formulaic matchup, but she was very impressive for people who don't know who she was.
Oh no, that's the problem. Mark knows who she is, and he felt that was a step down from what she was capable of.
Oh, yeah, of course it is, because they don't give they haven't given their women's time yet. We all knew something was gonna fall behind in.
Oh no, he's seen shorter matches.
No. I'm talking about the women's division in general. But no, I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, everyone's been saying she can do better than this. It's not like her greatest matchup ever. But they're saying for what she did, it was a good debut for her, setting her up for this with the lackluster build for the matchup.
I look at it more as the flip side of that, of going, we all know she's better than this, and this is a below average match for her.
Oh,
so why would you put your title on somebody who just had a below average match in their debut?
Because it's what they they gave them the time, and I don't know what they did. Anyway, I'm just posing the potential here.
All right.
So your pick.
Sheeta.
Okay, I'm going with Sheeta too because I
Thank
think
you.
no, I was just posing it. I thought about putting Thunder Rosa down on there. I think they will have a good match. I think this will actually show what both of them can truly do.
Yeah, of course.
Because I don't think we've seen what Sheeta can truly do. When you have
no.
Like if you put Sheeta against like Tessa Blanchard, you'd see a different Sheeta.
Probably.
If you put her against like a Sasha Banks, you'd see a different like what Sheeta can actually do.
Yeah.
But I think we'll get it better there. But I was just posing that. I think Sheeta will be the one who walks out because I think the smart money here is at Full Gear, Britt Baker.
Yes.
Because you can build, because once she can be mobile, actually get back and fully wrestle a full matchup. Because her.
She's mobile now. Okay?
She's mobile, but she's having a cinematic matchup. She's not ready to be back in the ring in a high-profile matchup just yet.
She's having a tooth and nail, technically an Extreme Rules match against Big Swole.
We don't even know what the rules are for that. It's a cinematic matchup. Cinematic matchup. It's already been announced. It's a cinematic matchup. Meaning she's not ready to be in the ring like a normal matchup just yet. So, which I'm fine with it because it's on your buy-in. Sets it up. You're not risking her getting re-injured. I'm fine with that. But build back up. It's a good way to get her back up. But anyway, we'll talk about when we get there. All right, we had the Casino Battle Royale returning.
21-man match.
Yes, but I want to know why this is not the women's, because last year was the women's, and the men had the ladder match at Double or Nothing. Oh, that's right, because they probably don't have access to 21 women at the moment.
Yeah, most likely.
They just did a tag team tournament, which could have given me some women.
And how many tag teams were there? 8? Which only gives you 16 total.
I'm sure they could have scrapped up 4 more women.
5
more women. I'm sure they could have. Anyway,
4 of them are already doing things on the card.
Like I said,
so it gives them like 1.
You could have found more women.
And have them tested in time.
You could have found. Yes, you could have. But it is what it is. I do like what they're doing with this. How you had all these heels ripping into each other, and how they're going to be the ones to win the title shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, Adam, you get 2 picks.
I get 2 picks? Okay.
I get 10.
What? Okay. I get 2 picks out of, well, let's see. We have here Darby Allin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, The Butcher, The Blade, Eddie Kingston, Shawn Spears, Billy Gunn, Austin Gunn. I'm sorry, Billy and Austin Gunn. Jake Hager, Santana, Ortiz, Chuck, and Trent. But not together.
Yeah.
And to be determined. Brock Lesnar. We all know it's going to be Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
He's just going to come in, destroy everyone at the last possible second, reach up, and take whatever it is that... Yeah.
It's not a ladder match. It's their Casino Battle Royale.
There will be only left in the ring Brian Cage. Brian Cage will be the only one left in the ring, or Lance Archer, and then boom! This just big boom, and you'll hear, "Here comes the pain," and out comes Brock Lesnar.
No, I want to see it. No, I'd love to see them do is Brock Lesnar is the to be determined. He comes out, and he gets in the ring
immediately out.
He jumps in the ring, and then everyone just dumps him over. And that's what they brought him in for. He's like, what the fuck? And he feels like a tantrum. This was not the plan. But that was the whole plan for him to mock.
No. He gets taken out faster than, what's his name?
Santino,
yeah. Just not even 8 seconds. It's like he rolls in, like literally rolls into the ring. He doesn't do his usual jump, crawl it, like literally rolls into the ring, stands up. Lance Archer takes him out.
Yeah.
And that's it. 3 seconds.
So,
I'm kidding. I don't
know.
Brock
Lesnar's not going to there, but you get 2 picks.
I get 2 picks out of here. You know what? I'm giving Lance Archer one of my picks.
Is it going to be your first or your second?
My second.
Okay.
That's my second pick.
It's not a bad pick.
The problem is, I don't really I don't see who could be the TBD.
Our question is for who will we see a debut in the Casino Battle Royale? I know like Wrestle Talk was talking about they're predicting Miro, Rusev.
Oh.
Which would be cool.
That would be cool.
But I don't want it to be a big debut because then you are going to have him win. I don't want to... Whoever the 2B is, regardless of the debut or not...
Unless you have him come out first.
Well, the 2B determined will be the Joker. He'll be the last person to come out.
I know.
That's what Brian Cage was when they
at the
Double or
ladder
Nothing.
match.
Yes, either. This time, the to be determined was the one who won it last time. Do not make it. Don't do the WWE thing where you have to do it. Yes, it's a traditional.
Technically, the first casino battle royale at All Out last year was Hangman Page,
I know.
who was put down as a to be determined.
I know.
And won. Oh my God, that means that they've done it twice now.
I know. And they only did that because Hangman and Pac match got canceled.
Yes.
So they couldn't. They had to do they went a different way with it. But so I don't want it to be the tradition of whoever it is, then you know who's gonna win. And you have some great names in here that you could use in the main event.
Oh, I have it.
Who? If you
To be determined, CM Punk. What a swerve. No one has been talking about him in AEW outside of, wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah. Like I think everyone's finally said he's not going to show up.
He's not going to show up. We're finally at a point where we're like, it's not going to happen. Brock Lesnar's most likely. Will Ospreay is more likely to show up.
Okay.
Kota Ibushi is more likely to show up than CM Punk. CM Punk walks out. One GTS, and that's game.
I will say this.
If it is him, do you want him to win?
No.
Bull.
Because I want to see. Because I think it'd be funny for him to debut and then lose.
I would like to see him debut with a lot of people still in the ring, and lose in one of those. He knocks somebody over, goes to turn around, and is knocked out himself. Yeah. One of those. It was like, okay, well, that came out of nowhere.
And it's not one of those. The guy was hiding in the ring, and you thought you want like stupid like WWE angles.
Unless it's MJF.
Well, MJF has a match.
But like the only person that I can see that tactic out of is either Chris Jericho or MJF. Yeah, one of the two.
But no, the only person I'm okay with to be determined to it be a debut and win is Will Ospreay.
Okay, that's
the
would be
only
awesome.
person
It would be amazing.
It's the only person I'm okay with it. Even Miro, even if he did debut, I don't want him winning that and going right in there.
I have another one that could be.
Because Miro, to me, if he's did decide to come into AEW, I want him to be in the TNT picture first.
Yes.
Because while he definitely is a world champion would be the future, and you can push him that way,
right?
But you put him in the TNT picture because he'd be a perfect Foley for Mr. Brody Lee.
Yes.
That story writes itself. It's Miro Day. No, I canceled Miro Day. By the way, I love that Mr. Brody Lee only invites blonde women into the Dark Order.
Yes, exactly. Oh, and yes, BTE was great again this week, especially the Dark Order stuff. Silver is amazing.
I'm still waiting for your number one pick.
Oh, my number one pick, to be determined.
Are you going to go to to be determined? I probably should do that. That's going to be my second pick. Because I'm not that dumb not to consider it.
It's the safe bet.
It's usually the safe bet, but AEW is smart enough not to make that the trend, especially since it's in the last two Casino Battle Royales for the men.
Yep.
Casino whatever have done that. My first pick is Pentagon Jr.
See, that would be cool.
Because he is the perfect Foley from John Moxley in a world title matchup.
Somebody who already has no care in the world about going as far as possible. Yep. And Moxley going, well, I want to cause as much pain to you as possible. And just Pentagon just being like, zero, mero. But this is over and over again.
But here's the thing, though. I don't want that matchup for the title to be at Full Gear.
Where do you want it?
I wanted them to do a special Dynamite in October, and that be the main event, because I want their big pay-per-view for a non-title matchup. I want it to be the next Moxley Omega unsanctioned matchup.
No, I want Moxley and Omega for the championship.
No. I want Pentagon Jr. and Moxley's. That matchup is their first pay-per-view is an unsanctioned matchup like Moxley and Omega.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. because I want Kenny and Moxley at Full Gear, cleaner versus Moxley.
The crazy man.
1 year later, after their matchup last year, and Kenny walks out champion.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And then you can also build. Then you can build to Revolution when you have Moxley, Pentagon unsanctioned matchup.
Wouldn't it be weird to see Billy Gunn win this though?
That would be funny. And then you had The Rock come out and do the whole, "Dear God, why won't people cheer me?" I can't believe this is
Billy just like, shut up! Just like starts whooping The Rock's ass for a change, and you're like,
It's like,
oh no! But The Rock comes out, starts cutting a promo, and Billy just grabs a pillow, like from the audience, lays down in the ring, just
like,
boring.
No, Billy's just like, "Dude, you've done this once before. Go back to what are you even doing here? Coronavirus, COVID-19.
You got the COVID.
COVID. You're not supposed to be in the arena. How did you get in here? Go away.
Get out of here. Go on now.
Go take care of your 2 girls."
Go take care of the pebbles.
But yeah, so I'm going with Pentagon Jr. as my first pick, and then to be determined my second pitch.
Okay.
Which is kind of a, you know what? Screw it, because you've already picked that. I lose that one. I'm gonna take that away. I'm gonna change it to, let's see.
Okay.
I do like this one. I'm gonna go with Ricky Starks.
All right.
And no, Eddie Kingston. That's what it is. Eddie Kingston.
Okay. See, I personally see Ricky and Darby taking each other out.
No. So I did Eddie Kingston because when he did the whole brought the Butcher and the Blade together, a few weeks ago, and they all got grouping together, and he gave them this big pump. Why aren't you tag team champions? Why aren't you tag teams? Why aren't you the AEW World Champion? Why aren't you the AEW Champion? You could all be champion. And got him to all hug, and then he just winked at the camera.
Yeah.
So this would be a nice little thing. Like, okay, I'm using you guys, but I'm gonna win it. So I'll go with that because with you being announced as your first pick, I don't gain anything from other than guessing it correct.
Right.
I'm not denying it to be announced. To be determined won't win it, but I want to put my different name out there. All right, so our next match up is the Dark Order versus Matt Cadera, Scorpio Sky, and the National Nightmares, Dustin and QT Marshall.
Matt who?
Matt Cadora.
Cardona?
Cadora.
Oh my god. All right.
It's Cadora, just like you have Marty Squirrel.
God. All right.
It's my new Marty Squirrel.
I'm going with the Dark Order.
Duh.
Um,
You're not gonna have the people who are fighting on Cody's behalf defeat them.
Oh, though I have to ask, will Colt be at 100%?
Why?
Well, I mean, a couple weeks ago he had gold poured over his head. Now that was removed. Now his head is all bandaged up. Well, I mean, not in real life because he's been part of the Brandon Cutler's D&D group.
So I just put Young Bucks down for the next match between Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks.
Well, yes, especially since the Young Bucks threw down the challenge to Luchasaurus to pull off a Canadian destroyer.
Oh God, and he's gonna pull it off too.
But he's afraid of all things Canadian because of his ex. She was Canadian. By the way, without the mask, he's still an intimidating dude. He just comes across as a little bit more of a geek.
Yeah, I can see that. I can probably see that. I've never seen him without his mask on, but
I saw one picture of him and I was like, kind of a geek, but I like it.
Okay, so our next match up is Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in a Broken Rules matchup. Basically, it means if Matt loses, he must leave AEW.
Leave it.
So, who do you pick?
Matt Hardy.
You're going with Matt Hardy. I'm going with Sammy Guevara. Because you know what I think they're going to do?
Damascus is the only one there then?
Nope, I think they're going to take him off TV for a little while because he hasn't gone over like they would want him to. because you haven't had the fans there like you would have had, and have him take him off TV for a little bit, and then bring him back as another Matt Hardy persona.
No.
No.
A lot of people are saying, oh, because he's not doing the broken stuff right now, it's clearly not gotten over, so they're trying to get rid of him. No, the reason he's not doing the broken stuff is because he got hit in the head with a chair, and now all 4 versions are blending together.
No, because Wrestle Talk was talking about it. It's not because he's not doing the broken stuff. It's because it
gets over way better with a live audience.
When you have a live audience, you haven't had the reaction to be able to see how over it is within AEW, which is part of it. I mean,
it's still huge over with the fans.
Yeah, but I think it's better to give Sammy another big win here at a major pay-per-view. It's probably not gonna happen because no one can win in the inner circle except for Jericho.
It'll end up being a non-finish here.
No, there'll be a finish.
Matt Hardy just disappears as he's about to lose, and Sammy's like, count
him out.
Count him out.
Because we don't actually know if this is an actual. Well, if there's actually any specific rules other than Matt loses.
The ref's like, 1, 2. It's over.
Winner.
I don't know what to do with this.
Okay, and our pre-show buy-in, whatever you want to call it, but they call it the buy-in. We have Britt Baker. My bad. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I don't want her to come in and nag me. I'm sorry. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Big Swole.
Yep.
In a tooth or nail match, which we don't know the rules of. Apparently, it's gonna be a cinematic matchup.
Not tooth or nail. It's tooth and nail.
Tooth and nail. Matchup. So we don't know what the rules are. What are the rules?
We don't need rules.
I'm stealing that from Mr. Davis.
Where we're going, we don't need rules.
I'm going to put down Britt Baker.
Okay.
Who are you putting down?
Give me Britt Baker.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I really like Big Swole, though.
So do I. She got herself over by being in the crowd. During COVID era.
For me, it was, I think, like, her third match.
Oh, no. It was the fact that it was, like, she was in the crowd for, like, a Dynamite. And yeah. I think it was, it may have been Britt Baker, but I think it was Nyla. And Nyla was just like this, and she's just like, what, you want to go? Like, she has a mask on, and she's like, and you just see the fire, it's just like, it got like whoa! You saw a character where when she was wrestling, even though
I saw that in the match,
I didn't really see much of her. I mean, she was good and she was obviously gonna be a star, but like that got me there. Started noticing that and doing that a few times, and then starting to pay attention to what she was doing. But by the way, I love that. I think it's Small Swole.
Yep.
Is a woman who's taller than her. So, yeah. Which I think is funny. Okay, so Adam, will there be a debut in the Casino Battle Royale?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Just put me down as yep.
I'm gonna go no. I'm probably getting, these questions don't matter if we tie. So
don't write down yes. Write down yep.
No.
Okay.
How many championships will change hands?
How many did I predict? None?
None.
So, 0.
Because the TNT championship is not on the line.
Yeah.
Which I'm not too happy about, but oh well. So you're going with 0.
A fat 0.
A fat 0. I'm going with 1. At least 1. Will Kenny or Paige turn on there? If you can pick between Paige, Kenny or no.
Kenny will.
So you're going with Kenny's going to turn on Paige at the pay-per-view. You're basically saying that the turn will happen at the pay-per-view by saying that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going with...
I'm not saying that they're going to lose. I'm saying the turn's going to happen.
Okay, I'm going with Kenny as well. I want Paige to be one of the turns, but we saw him turn on the Young Bucks already.
Yes.
Which I think would be a great twist of him turning on Kenny as well.
But I don't feel that he turned on them because immediately he didn't want, like, all of the look that he had was, I don't actually want to do this. I'm doing this for someone.
It was definitely the regret, the remorse.
Yes.
Of it. I didn't get the fact that he was doing it for someone. It was like he did it, and he's like, ah.
Nope, because it wasn't, oh man, I fucked up. It was as he's holding, like, he stopped and he was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I have to do this. And he just held Nick at that moment.
I know. Sorry, I don't take anything for being the Elite as canon because...
that was actually on TV.
I know what you're talking about. I'm talking about anything that came after that, but... from what all the coverage I've seen, the video footage I've seen, it came off of more like he did it and then he immediately regretted it. To me.
You're reading the situation wrong, my friend. Sorry.
I'm sorry if anything that happens on the Being the Elite continuity does not translate over to the main show because
totally does.
It's not on national TV, therefore it does not
count. So AEW Dark doesn't count, and the AEW Women's Tag Team doesn't count. Then
you mean the tournament?
Yeah.
Well, it does count. You know why?
Why?
Because the finals took place on Dynamite.
Yeah, but everything that happened before that doesn't count because it wasn't on TV.
House shows.
They don't do house shows. Anyway.
But no, paying off anything that shows up on Being the Elite that has to be shown up on made canon by going on national TV, because people who don't watch Being the Elite will be lost.
Like the lawnmowers with the Dark Order.
Yes. I think it's a funny joke, but as soon as you said that on TV, like even Wrestle Talk, like, oh, so they brought BET continuity into Dynamite continuity.
They have been for a while.
But it gets lost because people aren't paying attention to being the majority.
So go out there and pay attention to it, people.
But they're not announcing that this is a joke that was announced on Being the Elite.
Why? That explains a joke, which ruins a joke. Do you not? That would be like a magician being like, so, poof, I made a tiger appear. If you want to know how I did that, go watch this, my YouTube channel. And they're like, thank you for explaining that.
No, I'm not talking necessarily a joke. I'm talking about when you bring stuff that happens on Being on the Elite, it needs to be referred to. Oh, that was revealed.
Didn't they do that with those? Didn't I believe it was either JR or Tony made a comment that, oh, you'd understand it if you were paying attention to Being the Elite.
No, I don't think so. But no, I mean, Being Elite is a great little thing, but if you try to pay off stuff that doesn't, and you don't bring it onto national TV and let it be basically understood, it falls flat. Like the whole Moxley and Omega going to an unsanctioned matchup. Didn't need to go there. Based on TV continuity, did not need to go there.
Actually, they did, because Moxley kept talking about on TV that he would bring a new level of violence to AEW.
Doesn't mean you have to go to an unsanctioned matchup. Unsanctioned matchups go to feuds that are already pushing the boundaries in fights.
No, that unsanctioned matches purely should be coming out of a logical standpoint of the promoter going, I can't have this officially on my card.
And they weren't there yet. They weren't. We can disagree on this all you want. They were not there yet.
You don't need to be there to have it happen.
Yes, you do. In a storyline-driven feud, you need to walk them, and they did not do that.
They did. But...
No, they didn't. Unlike Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, that made sense.
It really didn't, because honestly, their feud was already over.
I'm not talking about their last matchup. I'm talking about when Tommaso returned.
Yeah. The feud was already done. NXT was already bored with what they had and had no idea what to do.
No, because you're talking about the last one. I'm talking about when Tommaso came back from his knee injury, the first one.
Yeah, they didn't.
After he turned on Johnny, got injured, and left.
Yeah.
When he came back, and we actually had that run of matches. The one at New Orleans.
I honestly felt after the second match of their run that their feud should have been finished
The
there.
unsanctioned matchup was the first one.
Okay, that makes it even worse.
No.
That's a new feud that started when he came back.
No, the feud started when Tommaso left. They just couldn't pick it. They picked it back up. Second of all, Tommaso cost Johnny Gargano his job and kept attacking him and breaking in. It led to it making it understood. It was more understandable to do the unsanctioned matchup more than John Moxley and Kenny Omega.
They wanted a match, and Tony could not sanction it.
No, it did not make sense. I'm sorry. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let us know down in the comment section what you thought of All Out predictions. Tell us your predictions. Who will be the two to be determined? Will it be Miro? Will it be someone else we forgot about? Let us know down in the comment section. Adam, how much time do we have left?
We have enough time to go over Summer Struggle.
Nice, because we didn't have that much to talk about anyway.
Nope.
All right, so we're going to move right on to New Japan Pro Wrestling Summer Struggle. 6 matches around the card. We got 3 right each.
All right.
And 2 of them we got right together, and each one we got.
All right.
So our first matchup, I'm going based on what we have here, not the actual the order they went in.
Okay.
We got Master Watu. Wado. You just say this, because I'm going to butcher all these fucking names.
So, Yoshinobu Kanemaru defeated Master Wado.
Yes. We got that one right.
Yay! Next up match, we have a Fatal 4-Way Tournament final for the inaugural Provisional KOPW King of Pro Wrestling Championship, where I chose Kazuchika Okada, and
I picked Sonata. And
neither one of us wrong.
As basically people are stating that with Toru Yano, that's how you say it?
Yep.
Winning it basically makes it a comedy championship.
No, it doesn't.
That's what some people were saying.
So one of the things about Toru Yano, and I believe I know it was somebody in the U.S., technically under Japan rules, a Gaijin wrestler, was like, you lost to Toru Yano? At the same time, you lost to Toru Yano.
Yeah. It's
like, the guy is good. But yes, he's a comedic wrestler, but at the same time, he's good.
Mm-hmm. Because comedy wrestling, people say if you're a comedy wrestler, you're doomed.
In the U.S., under WWE.
Because WWE stated that you can have comedy wrestling and be a major champion.
Eric Young
is
technically a comedic wrestler, and he's the Impact champion right now.
Yes.
For the second time.
So it's one of those things where it's like outside, that if you don't if you're only paying attention to the U.S., then yes, it's a comedy championship. That's the whole joke behind him winning it. Is a comedy wrestler is the king of pro wrestling. If you weren't, you'd say, "Oh, that's what WWE would do. It's a joke." Yes, WWE would do it and would make it a joke.
Like
They're
the
saying
24/7 championship.
Yes, New Japan does it and saying, "No, this is a prestigious championship. It will be a prestigious championship." And Toru Yano is that because he is good.
Yeah.
And what if
he makes it makes the fans laugh when he's out there.
So did The Rock. So
Yeah.
did Austin.
Yeah.
You're gonna call them comedy wrestlers? No. They just did that.
Oh.
That's what when you go outside of WWE, a comedy wrestler is a wrestler who does comedy.
Yeah.
Not just they can't do anything.
It's not they're a joke. No. They make the fans laugh and smile.
Yeah. You're gonna say D-Generation X was a joke?
Were they a joke?
Because that's their entire gimmick.
They were comedic wrestlers. Sean still is. Well, I mean,
And I'm talking
quote
about
unquote retired.
I'm talking about the NXT D-Generation X with
The
Hunter.
NXT.
No, I'm talking about like Hunter, Road Dogg, Billy, X-Pac, China. That one, when after Sean left, they were comedy wrestlers.
They were comedy before that too.
They were, but not as much as they became.
Look how. Oh, really? Really? The stuffing a sausage in his pants and jumping up and crotch-shotting himself over and over again wasn't comedy?
I didn't say... No.
The whole list of words that DX could not say...
I didn't say...
Which they then said...
They became more comedy after Sean left.
They were huge comedy before it.
Yeah,
they
They
were.
did a lot more afterwards.
The wiper blades.
That was great.
Come on.
But no, they did more... You know, everything you basically just said was for a period of, like, the first 2 months of D-Generation X, and when they built to the Austin, from January to WrestleMania, they didn't really do that much stuff.
Well, they didn't have to, but...
Because they weren't doing as much. Once Sean left, they became more, they did far more.
Well, yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, so we got that one wrong. What was the next matchup?
Next up, we have the singles match for the Never Openweight Championship, where Minoru Suzuki defeated Shingo Takagi.
Yep, you got that one right. I got that one wrong. I knew.
Suzuki is what, like 60?
Every time I see Suzuki in the Open Neverweight Championship, he's not the championship. I don't want to predict him to win it.
He's 52.
But you know if he doesn't win it this time, the next time he's in it, he will win it. That is his championship, basically.
He's 52 years old.
I know.
And he's having a better run now than he did 20 years ago.
I know.
In his 30s.
No, I know.
And I don't see him slowing down either.
And he's the guy that basically, if you're in a match with him, you're gonna be sore the next day.
It's gonna be stiff.
Not just stiff. You're gonna be sore the next day.
We talk about Moxley being like, an innovator of violence right now. His shots against Suzuki looked pulled.
Yeah. There's a reason why they had Moxley and him for the U.S. Championship at one point. Because Moxley came back and like, yeah, I want you.
Who wouldn't want to wrestle Suzuki? I look at him and I'm scared of him as much as him and King Haku. I don't want to be in the ring with either one of those guys.
All right, so our next match up was for the Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Yes. Where Taiji Ishimori defeated Hiromu Takahashi.
Which we both got right.
Yes.
And then the
Bullet Club got a championship.
And then we have the World Tag Team Championship, the Dangerous Techers.
It's actually not the World Tag Team Championship. It's the IWGP
I know.
Heavyweight Tag Team
Championship. I still call it the World because basically that's what it is.
It's the International Wrestling Grand Prix.
I know, but it's basically their World Championship. Yeah. Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi versus the Golden Aces of Hiromu Takahashi and Kota Ibushi. I got this one right. You got it wrong.
I know. I really thought the Golden Ace was going to win.
Which is funny because I said they were going to win it, retain last.
Yeah.
So that's why I went with this one. And then in the main event, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I don't care if they call it that or not. And the Intercontinental Championship, the double championship. Evil defending against Tetsuya Naito. We were wrong by Evil retaining, and Naito regained the double championship. Basically making everything that they just did with Evil pointless.
Kind of. Yeah.
So
you know that they're building to Okada versus Naito again, but hopefully it'll be like, I would have no problem if they waited until Wrestle Kingdom.
No,
January.
No, because that was the final matchup of the double championship this past year.
But this time it's just for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. The Intercontinental Championship, Naito loses in November to Evil.
They're not defending those belts separately.
You can still defend it separately.
They haven't, though.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that they won't go in going forward in the future.
Maybe.
Because at some point you're going to have to.
Well, I know, but they're not going to anytime soon. You know why?
Why?
Because they don't have enough people there to do that, and they have enough championships
You
to
can
get
put
over.
the Intercontinental title back on Evil,
Yeah.
and then Okada does not beat Naito for the heavyweight championship. Further going, Okada going, what the hell happened to me?
No,
I need help here.
at some point they definitely do need to separate those belts again, but right now with how much talent they have, they're not going to do it anytime soon. The sooner I could see them doing it is at Wrestle Kingdom if they're going to do it, but I just don't think they're going to at the time.
I feel that they need to be separated before that. That way they're on 2 different matches on the card.
It depends on how many people they have back at that point. In Japan, they may actually have most of their talent back by then, but highly unlikely.
Put the Intercontinental title on Tongaloa. Actually, that would be really awesome. I want to see him have a singles run on something.
Yeah, at some point, I definitely think they'll
Ooh,
do that. But
him and Kenta feuding for the U.S. Championship when Moxley comes back to finally drop it, so that way he doesn't have to worry about being in Japan or holding their championship hostage. Technically, it's not his choice on the hostage thing.
No,
it's the world going crazy in a pandemic.
But no. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you thought of New Japan's Summer Struggle match. Do you agree with Evil dropping the belt so quickly? Do you think it was... Should they have waited a little bit longer? Let us know down in the comment section. I think it was a little too soon. Even if it was... they got a lot of criticism for it. They tried something new.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're planning on having Evil pick them back up at the next event.
It's possible, but I think it'd just be a joke at this point if you do that.
No.
You're pulling a WWE.
Sometimes you have to.
Yes, but the criticism that Evil got when he won it and people were giving him, and now he dropped it his first title defense.
Yeah.
And you're gonna put it right back on him.
It happens.
I would say if you're going to do that, don't do it until Wrestle Kingdom and have him and do it there. But I just don't think that's gonna happen. But let us know down in the comment section. Adam, how much time do we have?
We have about 10 minutes.
So let's go through some of this news.
So I got 2 things here. 1, NXT might be moving to Tuesday.
What? You mean they may actually do better not going head to head with someone?
What?
No, the ratings do not support this.
Except for what was the ratings this week? Was 845,000?
Something like that. They were up from last week where they went unopposed. Just like the AEW's last night's ratings were up to 928,000 going unopposed.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that they shouldn't have gone head to head in the first place because it split the audience?
No, I'm actually saying it was a good thing they went head to head to begin with.
I kind of feel that it helped AEW more than it helped NXT, but that's just me.
No, I think it actually helped NXT because the few times that they've done NXT live, even when it was a 1 hour show on USA, it got pitiful ratings.
Also, the WWE does not promote NXT.
Even after they went 2 hours and put in full... Actually, they weren't promoting NXT.
Except for...
because they thought...
build up to Survivor Series and then literally, the week or 2 after it?
Yes.
Oh, and Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about like when they first brought it on, they didn't advertise it.
Nope.
Because they just figured it's a WWE product. People will just flock would rather watch our stuff, than AEW.
And the record overall will show you that AEW head-to-head had beaten NXT more often than not.
We do know that NXT can put on bigger matches that will draw more ratings at a time.
Yeah.
But when you can't have your entire week-to-week show be like that because it diminishes your takeovers, which you've established as a high priority. And I'm the one who just said last week I was not really impressed with this past takeover.
No. I mean, at the same time, you still got to love those people out there who will constantly say that the only shows that you should compare AEW to is Raw and SmackDown, except for the fact that AEW Dynamite is a new show on TV, so you should compare it to the only other new wrestling show on TV, NXT.
Yep.
And they were also on the same night, so of course you would compare them to. Let me clap this out for people.
Yeah. So.
God damn.
I'm okay. I think it's a good move, especially
smart move.
Because I think that going head to head, people were like, "Oh, we're getting the Monday Night Wars again," but we're on Wednesday. 2 smaller promotions.
Yes.
Build that it did, and you can. It doesn't mean it has to keep going over and over. It worked well to help build. What are you gonna watch?
Yeah.
Now you've established them. Let the fans be able to watch them both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I still don't understand people who, say that AEW is not in the, not good enough because they're not breaking 1 million. While at the same time, in the same Facebook post, will claim that NXT is way better. And they haven't broken 1 million in a long time.
They've never broken 1 million.
Okay, yeah, that's just as bad.
This is the go-home show for All Out. Next week, running unopposed, again, on Wednesday night, Dynamite will be there. What makes you don't think that they may not break 1 million next week?
Post All Out? Why not? I see it. I see it happening.
If you get a hot card like they did for Double or Nothing, you hear now having some fans back in the arena.
Exactly.
You may actually get 1 million. I hope so.
I would love to see it.
I'm not expecting them to be at 1 million every week, but I'd like to see.
Not right now.
Especially if they continue running unopposed, but I could definitely see them remaining in the top 800, 900.
Yeah.
On a low week,
6, 7
down to the 7s. 6, I don't think.
Random off week
would be a random off week or a holiday weekend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are starting to go into the holiday season.
Yeah, I'm talking. That would be like the week of after Christmas.
Yeah,
and we already know
maybe July 4th week. Stuff like that.
But who knows? I do think it's a smart move for NXT.
Yes.
Go on Tuesday. Your biggest competition is Impact, and that's not a thing against Impact. It's just
come on.
I can't watch Impact. A few times I've even watched clips of Impact. It seems like they're putting a show on, and it doesn't look good. It's nothing like when I watched TNA in the day, where it was actually felt like I was watching wrestling.
Well, I mean, another thing I gotta say, Impact is. It's the lack of any crowd noise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least they're going with the no crowd noise whatsoever, unlike, Raw and SmackDown, which is pumping in WWE 2K18 sound effects
from the
crowd noise. God, really? You guys could have at least used 2K19 or 20 for it. Something newer.
They probably tried 20, and they probably glitched out on them.
They tried 19, but Earl and Arlene were way too loud.
But no, I think it's a smart move, and it's something they definitely should think about. Apparently, this week's rating and next week, when they run outside of unopposed, will have a huge influence on if they decide to take it another night.
Right.
Right now, it's looking like a good thing. Why not? You're not beating AEW on a week-to-week basis.
No.
You're just not.
No, not at all.
There's more interest in AEW because honestly, there's more recognizable names from Cody, Chris Jericho, now Kenny and the Young Bucks on AEW week to week. Yes, you have some bigger independent talent that are more known to the independent fans in NXT that you can do bigger matchups.
Right.
And you've built them up more than AEW has because they've been around longer.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't keep doing that, like we already said. But we'll find out soon enough if they're going to do that. But time will tell. But it was a good rating for both of them this week, which is good to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, it was 849,000 for NXT this week.
849. Okay.
So that's a good number. By the way, just so you know, Tony Khan cannot comment about Brock Lesnar right now.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. We're going into All Out, and there's a to be determined.
Yes.
We can't be commenting on Brock Lesnar because suddenly every dirt sheet on the planet will be like, Brock Lesnar's going to be there.
And
Brock Lesnar's going to be there.
All Tony Khan is doing by saying I cannot comment on that is to get some people to think it's a potential that to be determined is going to be Brock Lesnar.
You know who the biggest some people is? Vince. Because as all Tony has to do is give a slight hint that they're even interested in Brock, and Brock will get even more money out of because I think it was actually Tony a while ago said that Brock was extremely smart by playing Vince with UFC.
Well, yeah,
because Tony's I couldn't tell you if Tony's friends with anyone in UFC, but he found out that UFC wasn't actually interested in Lesnar at all because he still had a 4-month suspension that he had to serve the moment he comes back anyway.
No, he was. The reports were that they were interested, but the amount of money.
From what I've heard is that they had no problem. They would have had no problem bringing him back, but he was going to be useless
for 4 months.
No, he couldn't even start training for 4 months, which means that it was another 6 months out before. It's nearly a year before you can use this guy. It's nearly useless. Yes, he will be a great draw.
Well,
that's it.
Not necessarily 6 months.
Most training is a 6 month. According to the rules, because of his suspension, he could not train for a match under UFC rules.
No, I'm talking about you can train with it for 3 months. I think that's about the amount of time he trained right before he came back for that one match, that one off that got him suspended because he trained for 3 months.
And he used steroids.
Well, yes. Well, no, he used terrestrial beta blockers,
quote unquote steroids.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But because he can't do any, he can't work out during those 4 months.
He can work out. He cannot train.
That is part of your training.
No, he can't. You're gonna tell me that he can't go to the gym and just lift weights under those?
He could do it at home.
No. He could go to we all know Brock Lesnar lifts at home regardless.
Well, yeah, but he can't go to his trainer's gym.
I'm not talking about going to his trainer's gym. I'm talking about going to a gym.
Yet he's not showing up at the nearest Planet Fitness and putting in a workout.
I'm not talking about that. He could go to a local gym and work out if he announced. But regardless, no, it doesn't matter. They were interested, but he was smart to play them off. The whole point was. And yes, and this is another thing. It's like, oh, they're interested. Get him back.
That's what I see Vince doing right now. He's freaking out. And now I do know that his contract expired because talks were breaking down.
No. From what it sounds like, everyone was pointing as that they had no plans for it. His contract expired back after WrestleMania. The rumor is that negotiations broke down, but also because they didn't have any plans for him anyway. And
WWE never really had plans for him in the first place.
Basically, what's coming out of it is they don't have plans for him, so they don't. What's the point of actually keeping a contract going? But at any time that they have plans or Vince feels like he needs him, they will offer him a contract he can't refuse, and he'll sign. That's basically the stipulation.
$1 million, 500,000.
Or Brock wants to work, feels like he's willing to work, and he'll let them know.
Which is weird, because Brock can work.
Yes. He wants to make a lot of money for doing nothing.
But in all honesty, if he can keep playing the WWE,
Yeah.
The way basically he's doing what Warrior should have done.
Oh, I know.
And that's play WWE and be like, well, I don't really know. I'm getting some other offers here, and then Vince is like, all right, $300,000 for an appearance, and he's like, Vince, you got me.
But here's the only thing.
Nobody was offering me anything else as he's signing it.
But no, the only problem was that Vince had no interest in the Warrior at that time.
Well, true.
So, but anyway, it's interesting to see. It's just a nice little thing there. What else do we have on there really quickly? Cover?
The Iconics break up.
Yeah, they lost to the Riot Squad after losing to them at Payback. So they had another matchup, but they lost. They had the losing team, not just... And the Riot Squad just got back together, so they weren't going to lose. Oh, by the way, apparently they're not the Riot Squad anymore.
Oh.
They're Living Riots. Living Riot.
But by the way, I'm going to be real honest. I don't like the new version of Liv Morgan. I don't like it. What happened to the quirky, geeky girl that Liv Morgan really is?
Vince doesn't like it.
Well, of course not.
Because he doesn't understand geeks.
He doesn't understand quirky.
No. But no, he knows quirky. And we saw with John Moxley, with Dean Ambrose, and the stuff he had him say. You say it because you're quirky. I wouldn't say that if I was quirky.
It's just like, weird.
Yeah, because no,
like nobody talks like that. That's the worst thing about the WWE script machine is that nobody talks like that.
No, one thing I'd love to see Liv do, and this is not like a bad or anything, but like I want Liv to slim down. Do you? And this is like
she's tiny, bro.
I know, but she has a little bit more. She's tiny, but like, do you remember what she looked like when she had that fiery promo against Charlotte on SmackDown?
Yeah, she was, I think, sick at the time.
No, she wasn't. She was more leaner.
I mean, like, I think she had an eating disorder. Sick.
No, she didn't.
She's talked about eating disorders.
Well, I know she has that, but I'm not talking about...
Which means that...
Doesn't mean she had it at that point. I'm saying...
You never get rid of it.
I know you do. It doesn't mean you are suffering from it.
Sometimes it sneaks in, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, I lost 30 pounds.
But she didn't look sick.
She looked thin.
She looked lean to me. Anyway.
No.
But it's because I think it would fit her better, like that, more tinier. For her, because I think it would work better, especially if you let her go back to being that quirky, thing. Oh, by the way, Alexa Bliss is turning back into Harley Quinn.
Oh, nice.
As she watches The Fiend, so something going on there. I'm okay with that. Let her be the Harley Quinn to The Fiend.
I'm still disappointed that Roman Reigns showed up, beat both Braun and The Fiend, and walked out as the champion.
I thought it was great because he didn't sign the contract until right before the end. He walked in.
Meh.
I think it was they're basically doing everything that pissed people off about Brock Lesnar. They're now applying it to Roman Reigns, which is awesome.
No, it's not. I personally enjoyed what we were getting from Roman up to this point. We were getting a build-up of a face Roman that the fans were actually kind of behind on, and now it's just like, oh, hey, the fans have been asking for him to turn heel. It's like, yes, but we were asking for it when we hated him. Now that he's a sympathetic face, we're starting to love this guy.
And he's
coming up, and it's a heel turn because you don't have Brock Lesnar. You know that was a Brock Lesnar spot.
Oh, no. I think the reason why I like it is because, here's the thing. We're finally starting to get behind him, and we thought when he returned, we're just going to get more of that, and even if we still stay behind him, it's one of those things where it's like, no, we're going to go against that. It's basically what they did with The Rock when he started getting cheers, and they turned him into the corporate champion.
Too little, too late, in my opinion.
Well, of course it is. But at least we're getting something, and he's actually embracing it. I'm sorry. I like it. What else do you have on there?
Nope. I feel that if he had turned heel like a year and a half ago, it would have been way better.
If he turned heel when he was facing the Undertaker, would have been better.
Yes,
but
instead they go, nope, we can't do this. And now that the fans are done with the expectation of him turning heel, we've given up on it. They're like, oh, we're gonna do it now, and everyone's just like, fuck you, WWE.
I like it. I think it's good. I'm giving it a shot. So far, I'm enjoying what they're doing so far. Yes, I think he should have had more involvement in the matchup than what they did. I still like it, but
nope.
I do,
especially since this technically buries the Fiend.
Not necessarily.
Nope, the Fiend is dead and gone.
No, because here's what they're doing. They're turning the Fiend into the new Undertaker.
I mean, yeah.
And they're going to give him his Harley Quinn.
Just
Anyway, I like it. What else do you have down there?
That's
that we can
it.
Cover? That's it?
Yep.
I thought we had something else
We
on
have
there.
gone over everything.
Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to As the Buckle Turns. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. You know you want to. You made it listening to an hour and a half, 16,000 hours. Who knows actually how time is relevant these days in 2020?
Who knows?
Because we all know what's going to happen on December 31st. Midnight's going to hit, and it's going to be December 32.
We're going to see 11:59. Midnight. December 32nd.
We all know it's going to happen.
We're not escaping 2020. It's never happening.
So we're in an episode of The Twilight Zone, folks. So
this is Black Mirror Season 6.
instead of watching it, we're living it.
Exactly.
And you're talking to a guy who's never watched Black Mirror.
Neither have I.
Anyway, let us know. Give us a thumbs up. It helps it's a great way to help support Zop Gaming.
Yep. Thank you.
And since it's right there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Ding!
Ring that bell.
Ding! Ding!
And turn on all notifications so you know when all As the Buckle Turns, fantasy booking, and go ahead with your stupid shit.
And New England Wrestling Alliance. Also, we've got some Rocket League. We've got Call of Duty.
You get one
Fortnite. I'm going over everything on this channel.
You get one thing.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is still going on.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Get bent, you douchebag.
Oh, dude, not cool.
Oh, by the way.
What?
You're the equivalent of 5G.
Okay, that's not a joke that's gonna land with anybody. I don't know why you keep bringing up this 5G shit.